Hey, it's Cendriel here. Welcome back to another VOD review. So today we have a VOD review courtesy of 𝓢𝓸𝓬𝓬𝓪 on Twitch. The channel points were redeemed for this free VOD review done on twitch.tv/Cendriel. So if you're interested in getting your own VOD review done, then come follow, chat with the community, and yeah, so let's go.
I require assistance. Thank you.
Okay. So, things to keep in mind with MORIA, your heals cannot go through shields, and your right click cannot go through shields. The only thing that can go through shields are your orbs and coalescence. So, usually if there is an enemy sim that puts her wall, which is her ult, up, I like to use coalescence aggressively if needed, or sometimes, a lot of times, you should use coalescence for keeping up your tank, because it does like a quick burst heal that they might sometimes need.
Eyes open now.
And now with like the changes that happened a few seasons ago, you can also now fade while in coalescence. That's fun. So you can avoid getting like punched out of your coalescence or hacked out of your coalescence by using fade.
Pain is inevitable.
Pretty good damage orb. We can't really throw our orbs at the team because we don't really see them. I think they're like diving up top right, so that orb was fair. Plus there's a BAP, so when you have BAP as like another healer, you can generally, if the BAP pays attention, you can generally use more damage orbs as opposed to healing orbs, because the BAP, he can go on, like in a map like this, he can go on his exo boots, go up and heal the team and all of that.
That's much better. I offer something more.
Oh, that orb missed. It hit that corner.
Ready for a knockout?
Also, in like a map like 𝓢𝓸𝓬𝓲𝓪, since there's like multiple rooms that you see, you can also take some fights, if you can, take some fights to little rooms, so then you can like look up to the ceiling and make your healing orb bounce, so you just constantly get healed while you're trying to like 1v1 someone.
A taste of poison.
I want to be careful about throwing a damage orb to the Genji, because he can always deflect that back and then it just backfires. So I wouldn't necessarily throw it at him unless you know that he already used his deflect.
Let's show these foes our
Your strength becomes
Also,
mine.
you're throwing, so that healing orb you just threw down main, which makes sense, but it will only touch the Junkrat for like, I don't know, maybe 3 seconds. And of course, there's a Genji right there, so he can deflect the healing orb, and then the healing orb will be for his team instead. So rather, I would like to see you bounce orb. You can bounce orb against this wall, and then it'll bounce back over here and bounce back this way, so you have more uptime with that orb healing Junkrat, and less chance of the less chance of the Genji deflecting that healing orb. So you just want to take advantage. Like a really good MORIA will use the orbs and take advantage of like the bouncingness and the angles they can like jump off of. Because if you're just constantly throwing your healing orbs down main or like down a straight line, then you don't get much uptime with it.
Your strength becomes mine. Swift as the wind. I'm restored. Claiming the objective. Assist me.
Oh, looks like we capping.
I'm under attack. Taking hold of the objective. My power emanates. Your fate is in my grasp.
That is a lot of right-clicking there. With Moira, it's so easy to get lost in the right click, lost in the sauce, and constantly right click and do damage. But you have to keep in mind you have a healing ability. Your role is support, not just damage, not just healing, but you also have to support your team. So while this right clicking is fine, at least throw healing orbs at your teams. That's what I do sometimes. Sometimes when I'm being very DPS-y, I always tend to throw healing orbs at my team so they feel healed. And I'm also like refilling the healing gauge. So as you can see right now, Junk's low wherever he is, and Doomfist is low wherever he is. So if you threw a healing orb in their direction, granted if they're also on the point as well. Let's see. Yeah, they're literally right behind you. So if you threw a healing orb at them, then they would be fine. Like all you have to do, like you don't even have to turn around to throw this healing orb on them. All you have to do is have the healing orb bounce off of this wall, and then it'll just come back to them. That's all that you need. But like I understand right now it's on cooldown, but that would be nice to do in advance and just something nice to like think about. Hi, Michael. See, look, you're still damaging. Anna's getting like really focused right now, so she's also having a hard time. Junkrat is still low. Yeah, see. Alright, so the Junkrat. Okay, so we lost the Doomfist because... Did we even throw a healing orb? Let me look back. Looks like we're just about to. There you go. Okay. As long as you keep your orbs at like complete, like all the time, like 100% uptime. Okay, so now I would expect for you to throw a healing orb at that Junkrat at this point in time. The Junkrat's low, he's crit, and your healing orb just got off of, or your biotic orb just got off a cooldown.
A cure for all
Okay,
the
so we lost like maybe 2 seconds on that. Yeah.
The point is vulnerable. Let us take it.
Yeah, I felt like if you like even tap heal, if you tapped heal the Doomfist and the Junkrat, they would at least have like maybe like an extra like 3 seconds to do something, because they would be better health than they were, and they would die less quickly. So that's something you have to keep in mind as Moira, because you don't want to be like a Moira that does damage all the time and then have your teammates be like, oh, this Moira is not healing at all, and like this is what that looks like basically.
Your end is within my reach.
We're outnumbered.
Yeah, if the Junkrat and Doomfist were both up, you definitely would have capped. Cause look at that, he just went off the point for free.
Surrender to my will.
Oh no, you didn't look at the BAP, he was crit. I saw you turn around, but you didn't look at him. So I understand using your ult because you're still stalling, waiting for your team to come back, because you're literally like a sliver away from capping, which is understandable. So I'm not going to judge you for using Coalescence there.
Surrender to my will.
Okay. Yeah, we force Trace. That's a good trade. Alright, so right now in the corner of my eye, I see BAP is crit. It looks like we turned to him, but then we went to Coalescence that room. And then we just Coalescence the car. Okay. That Coalescence could have been better. Fun fact, again, if you play Moira and you use Coalescence, Coalescence does more healing per second than damage per second. So make sure you're also using Coalescence to not only damage, but make sure you're healing your teammates as well. And that's why the BAP died. No Coalescence on him. Cole heals? What?
Evil can't hide from my sight.
Yep, it does healing and damage. But the healing is higher per second than damage per second.
Now, to start anew.
That's why when I use coalescence, I usually pop it for like a crit tank or something, for example.
Pain is inevitable.
Meteor strike.
Also, I'm not sure if Widow's a pick because they're very divey.
Stay alive, boy.
Well, the Doom and Genji are very divey, so I don't know if Widow would have been good here.
Be nourished. Such grievous wounds.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines.
Misery made manifest.
Okay, that time we got some bounce with that damage orb.
A cure for
Yeah, I
all
can't
the
really see that
days.
Widow. Just she LOS'd us.
Round of healing.
I'm a direct hit machine.
Could have thrown an orb there.
A taste of poison.
Again, careful about throwing orbs at Genjis because they can deflect it.
Up and at him.
As a Moira player, whenever I see an enemy Genji, I'm just always on him because he can't like deflect your damage or anything, and you like force him to like dash out, so you're forcing cooldowns on him as well.
Rally here.
A lot of wiggly
Greetings.
cross here.
Objective A
Maybe it's just me.
captured. Escort the payload.
Sniper, keep your head down.
Get ready for a fight.
The payload is progressing.
Prepare in your cellular makeup.
Widow div. So we just quickly glanced at the BAP, saw that he was crit, and then we walked away. No. How about you throw a healing orb over there? Because he could have died. And that would have been on you. Granted, it would have been fine because you guys are in spawn, but the fact that you just looked at him and didn't, like, react, it bothers me. As a support player, and as, like, I'm like a half and half. Like, maybe DPS a little bit more, but also, like, as a big support player, that bothered me a little bit. Like, sure, his passive could kick in, but... And I probably would not looked at him if your team was getting dove on by the enemy, but the enemy are still, like, in spawn. They're still coming out. You got time. Plus, you never know if Genji's going to, like, flank or something. It's just to be safe, you know? Finish your movie. Okay, I was gonna advise you. But looks like you got it. Oh yeah, also your healing, it does AoE healing. So normally you don't want to hold down left click your heals unless you're constantly like in the middle of a fight because it just wastes the resource. But like if your guys are relatively healthy, you can just tap heal and the AoE will just take over for the healing for the most part.
Let them out.
Enhancing
So
your
this window is a
vitals.
very good spot to throw if you want to throw your damage orb because it does more damage if it goes through.
Your end is within
Oh,
my
you-
reach.
Looks like we literally just missed the window. That's funny. But yeah, anytime you see a bat throw a window, I always like to throw a damage orb through it because it does more damage over time through a window because it gets amplified, of course. Because that's the nature of BAP's window. Alright, I would back out.
For the parched.
We just threw a healing orb at them. Not sure why. Not sure why we threw a healing orb. We didn't even need a healing orb at ourselves. Because, like, see, right now the Genji has 2 healers on him, so I would back out immediately because you're not going to kill him. Not when he has, like, 2 really good healers on him.
A sip for the
And then
parched.
we're literally, like, 206 and we throw a healing orb at them. You could have... I don't know. You probably could have just walked back, to be honest, because that Genji, if that Genji was smart, he would not dive you because he would get out of LOS of his own supports. So... yeah. And the BAP is right there, too, so he can also heal you. So I'm not sure I would have orbed that. Like, you putting pressure on the Genji and forcing him to back out was pretty good, but it just backfired because he had 2 supports on him, and then he just forced your orb cooldown.
You can't hide from my sight.
Okay, that damage orb was good. Got some tickles.
I'm under attack. You cannot escape me.
Wiggle, wiggle. We're wiggling. Jiggle peek.
The payload moves with
I
certain
hear widow footsteps. Throw damage orb.
taste of
Nice.
poison.
Oh, he already died.
Company.
Over healing a little bit. Remember, you can just tap heal at points like that.
Enhancing your vitals.
Yeah, you're holding down healing. Yeah, so I'm not sure if you know about the tap healing, but tap healing is good when they're like relatively healthy because again the AoE will take over. Ooh, we forgot to fade away. Unlucky. He came right to you too. He's like, this Moria keeps right clicking me. Let me blade him.
Time again to try again.
No progress on the payload.
Widow's dead. I'll look at that one more time. Okay, so I want to see what this BAP is. Okay. I probably still would have gone right side to see if I can at least throw something to like help the Widow, but she's probably dead anyway, so I don't think it would have helped. Unless the BAP threw a lamp, but I don't think he's going to waste lamp and spawn. Because that's just forcing a cooldown when you're literally in spawn.
Repairing your cellular makeup. Your end is within my reach.
Yeah, you want to be careful. Like, even, sorry, she was coughing. Holy crap. Very, very dramatic. But even rooms are advantage for you with, like, your, the ball thing. You want to be careful going to rooms with Doomfist, of course, because he does more damage. If you get impacted into a wall and the distance is pretty short.
Meteor strike. Sniper, keep your head down. Incoming.
Yeah. That was again going into the small room. That was a perfect Doomfist ult on his behalf.
Progress is seldom won with ease. Misery made manifest.
Okay, got a nice bounce on that orb.
Surrender. You are not as useless as us.
Oh, that was unlucky. Technically, we shouldn't need to use Coalescence there because everyone's healthy. And like me, I'm a big fan of using Coalescence when people also need healing. It's either if the enemy team is very low, you can use Coalescence to just pick them off. Or if your team is like half HP, you can also heal them. Because when you use Coalescence, you want to be behind your team, so you're also healing and doing damage at the same time, because Coalescence has like a really big range. So you probably could have saved Coalescence, and you probably would not have get punched out of it if you were thinking like that. Because the enemy was healthy, and your teammates were healthy during that little push that you guys did. Like passing the corner.
No wound is truly mortal. A taste of poison.
I would have thrown that orb into the room because of the bouncing that it does. And you just want to also be like, okay, so I'm right-clicking them. They're taking damage. They're probably going to be afraid and hide inside this room. But if I throw this damage orb inside this room, then they're just going to take damage, of course, and maybe the health pack is already taken and maybe they die.
Keeping a watchful eye
But yeah,
here.
just want to take advantage of the fact that her ball can just bounce between walls.
Watch for that sniper. Everyone feeling better?
Ladies and gentlemen,
I'm not sure if that went in the room. Don't think it did.
Evil can hide from my sight.
Your end is within my reach.
Ready for a knockout?
My watch is never.
Let them out.
Misery made manifest.
Wait, did that not go through? It looked like it didn't go through. How about the orb going through the wall? Oh, it didn't sound like it did. There's usually a sound cue. Maybe it did. I'm not sure.
Misery made manifest.
You like my shirt? Thank you.
Its destination.
Give yourself to me. More swimmers, be nourished.
Alright, looks like we capped. So I also noticed, like, when you're right-clicking and someone is low, you're not meleeing. And I know melee does, like, what, 25 damage or something? And that can still do a good amount of damage. So being able to, like, right-click melee when a target's low, you just get, like, more DPS out that way. But some big key points. It looks like you overhealed times when you don't need it. And you damage when your teammates needed to be healed. So you just want to keep in mind, like, Moira is a very tricky role because you have to have pretty good heals and you're expected to have pretty good damage as a Moira player. So when you're DPSing a lot, I usually would throw healing orbs, but if I'm healing a lot, I would just throw damage orbs. So it's just a trade-off. Like, usually if you watch me on Twitch, when I play Moira, my stats of healing and damage is pretty even. Like, there's a pretty much even, and sometimes there's like maybe a 500 number like out of it, or a 500 like numerical difference between my healing and damage. So, and it's good to have stats like that because you're healing when you need to heal and you're doing damage when you need to damage. So it's just something to keep in mind. Of course, take everything that I say with a grain of salt, as even though I've been playing Moira since her release. I was a one trick until Ashe came out. I still play Moira sometimes, but I've been playing a lot of Zen lately. But again, just take everything as you wish, as you want it. If you don't like this advice, then that is fine. I mean, that's why you get a VOD review done, so you have a third person, not in the game type of review. So thank you again, Quadic, for redeeming this channel point VOD review on twitch.tv/Cendriel. If you're interested in getting your free VOD review done, then come hang out, come follow, come hang out with the community. And if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!